Okay, everyone, mental health roll call. I am not okay, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're not okay either. Now, I'm somewhere between barely functioning and fantasizing about living off the grid with my husband, my dog, and possibly a goat. It's like the world has decided to go full on apocalypse, and we're just all expected to keep sipping our coffee and pretending that everything's fine. Well, it's not fine, and I refuse to continue gaslighting myself into believing otherwise. Between inflation swallowing paychecks, politicians pretending that nothing's wrong, and job boards filled with ghost jobs, vibe checks, and salary ranges that scream, "We hope you have a deep love of ramen," it feels impossible to move forward. This isn't a Democrat thing, and it's not a Republican thing. This is a people are exhausted and everything's really stupid thing. If you woke up thinking one more headline and I'm Googling how to become a lighthouse keeper with no internet, yeah, same. Same. I don't think we talk enough about what this does to your nervous system, to live through this much instability, to wake up in a world that is always shifting, always inflamed, always urgent, but it's never repaired. One day it's war, the next it's recession, the next it's AI replacing your job, and in between it's billionaires fighting on Twitter. The chaos isn't random, it's monetized, it's curated, and we've been conditioned to treat it like it's background noise. Except it's not background noise when it's the soundtrack of your life falling apart. There's one thing that nobody tells you about surviving chaos this long, and if you don't hear it now, you're going to keep blaming yourself. So stick around, because we're going there. What we're dealing with here isn't just a personal mental health issue. This systemic burnout is designed to make us feel broken for reacting normally to completely abnormal circumstances. Here's what keeps me up at night. Well, besides my browser full of tabs of remote cabins in Montana, okay, no one in charge seems alarmed. We are unraveling in slow motion and everyone around us is nodding like this is just how adulthood works. Yeah, I love that for us. And meanwhile, people are rationing insulin, doom scrolling in the soup aisle, and blaming it on not exercising enough. Like, yeah, Chad, maybe the reason that I'm spiraling is because I skipped my gratitude squats today. They keep selling us this idea that if we just fix our energy, the collapse will feel less murdery. Like we're the problem for noticing the fire. It's not you. It's not your mindset. It's not your habits. It's that everything is absurd and no one will admit it. The chaos is constant. Everything is broken. We're not just facing inflation, layoffs, or another news cycle from hell. We are trapped inside of a pressure cooker where literally everything is imploding all at once. And somehow I'm supposed to remember my Google password and eat enough fiber. At this point, I'm basically running a part-time crisis hotline in my DMs. So yeah, I do one-on-ones. And there is a membership if you want community that doesn't require pretending that you're okay. Inflation is up, jobs are gone, the planet is wheezing like it just ran a 5K in wet jeans, and every 36 hours there's a new once-in-a-generation crisis, like we didn't just have 3 last week. Eventually, I had to ask, who does this serve? Because it's not you, and it's not me. It's not anyone who's trying to survive this mess without losing what little energy they have left. It's for clicks, for ratings. It's for politicians who need us scared, so we'll stop thinking critically and start clinging to whatever dumpster fire makes us feel slightly less powerless. Seriously, can we just take a second and admit how bizarre it is that we've normalized existing in perpetual crisis mode? So yeah, this isn't stress. This is a full body reaction to living in a system that's allergic to stability and makes you feel crazy for noticing. Because that's the absurdity, right? We're supposed to fix structural collapse with skincare and gratitude. Light a candle, make a vision board, manifest your way out of a wage gap and panic disorder. And when that doesn't work, don't worry. There's an app for that. For $12.99 a month, it'll send you affirmations like you are enough while you scream into a reusable tote bag because eggs cost what your car payment used to be. Now, I made a decision a few years ago, and this might be a little bit controversial, but I stopped watching the news. Now, let me be clear. I did not stop watching because I wanted to be uninformed. I stopped watching because I was being emotionally hijacked every single day. I just couldn't hang. Everything was urgent. I was tracking 5 global disasters while ignoring my own insomnia. I was keeping track of everything, the bills, the moods, the weird rash on my arm, but I couldn't remember the last time I felt genuinely okay for more than 30 seconds. I was mainlining anxiety meds like they were multivitamins. I could no longer deal with the daily fire hose of unprecedented that somehow became Tuesday. But here's what nobody admits. Consuming chaos 24/7 isn't awareness. It's psychological self-harm packaged as staying informed, right? It's anxiety disguised as vigilance. It's outrage as a service, and I was paying the monthly subscription with my mental health. If that sounds dramatic, let me ask you a question. How's being constantly informed working out for you? Are you sleeping well? Are you feeling calm? Yeah, I didn't think so. We're trapped in this hamster wheel, convinced if we step off, we're abandoning our duty as decent human beings. Look, we both know that what passes for news these days isn't actually news. It's a chaos machine designed to keep you anxious enough to click, angry enough to engage, and scared enough to stay glued to your screen. It's not information, it's emotional clickbait with a theme song and sponsors. The news isn't news anymore. It's a tool that keeps me agitated, distracted, and terrified, and it might be doing the same to you. So who benefits from this constant state of panic? Not us. It's not the girl over there dry heaving in a Target bag wondering if she can fake her own death and still qualify for unemployment. This is a system that thrives when we're too tired to push back. It's performative politics where leaders act like TikTok influencers. It's hustle culture convincing us that we're just one vision board away from peace. It's tech that feeds us dopamine pellets until we forget what real rest feels like. And yeah, it's media algorithms that reward rage and repetition over reflection. They don't want you grounded. They want you reactive because a regulated nervous system doesn't click, right? It doesn't scroll. It doesn't buy. That's the game. But even after I unplugged, I still couldn't breathe. And that's when I realized the news wasn't the only problem. Here's where it gets absurd, okay? The world is on fire, but we're still expected to show up like everything's fine. You're supposed to work, hustle, be productive, all while the foundation beneath you is cracking like a Walmart wine glass. Now, people will tell you others have it worse. Yeah, great. But so what? Some people get eaten by crocodiles. Why does my suffering have to be measured against someone else's? This isn't about comparison. It's about me trying not to cry in CVS while picking out my toilet paper. And through it all, we're expected to weaponize gratitude. Like if I just say thank you enough, the IRS is going to forget I exist. If one more freaking influencer tells me to just breathe and focus on the positives, I'm going to weaponize a scented candle and start a new religion called Nope. What religion are you? Nope. Good vibes only culture isn't wellness. It's emotional suppression. We're trained to feel guilty for admitting how awful everything feels because someone else has it worse. You know what? Someone else always has it worse, but your suffering isn't invalidated by comparison. Toxic positivity doesn't solve your problems, Julie. Get lost. We live in a world that rewards functioning, even when you're breaking down inside. You're still expected to show up, perform, and smile while the cost of living climbs and your mental health plummets. I'm really tired of pretending that all of this is normal, right? So be honest. How close are you to throwing your laptop in a lake and joining a commune? Seriously, tell me how you're actually doing. Not your resume version, not your customer service voice. I want to know the real you. Drop it in the comments. Vent, ramble, rage. This is the space for that. Now, right now, you're a human having a rational response to an irrational circumstance. But I need to tell you, you're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to not consume every crisis as your personal responsibility. I stopped letting my mental health be the collateral damage for systems that were never designed to protect it. So yeah, I stopped watching the news. Big whoop. I started watching my capacity. I started noticing how much space I was giving to things that left me feeling hopeless and how little room I had for anything that actually helped me function. Because even when the headlines stop, that hum doesn't, that weird emotional buzzing in your ears that says, hey, you should be panicking right now, even when you're just microwaving your leftovers. You feel it in your spine. You feel it when your partner says, did you see what happened today? and your whole body just sighs and you think to yourself, dear God, please let it be aliens. Eventually, I had to ask the question that blew this whole thing wide open. And once I did, it wrecked my ability to continue playing along. Now, you are not the problem. Your burnout isn't dysfunction. It's diagnostic. Like your brain finally tripped the breaker and said, yeah, I'm not running this circus anymore. Now, I'm not angry. I'm just out of polite words for things that are objectively insane. I still vote. I still recycle. I still care. Probably too much. But I'm done handing over my sanity like it's a participation trophy for staying informed. My mental health isn't a fair trade for algorithms, ad revenue, or anyone's campaign strategy. Period. Bold. Underline. Exclamation point. The hardest part of all this is realizing you've been playing their game all along. We are all part of a system designed to extract our labor, our attention, our loyalty without ever giving back. They need us working, stressing, surviving, just enough to keep us tethered to the treadmill with a broken shoelace and a dream, but never enough to get ahead. So when I say I'm done, I don't mean that I've stopped caring. I just mean that I'm done offering my sanity as a tribute to systems that profit off my exhaustion. I'm done mistaking constant coping for strength. I am done white-knuckling my way through a collapsing economy just to be told to smile more and stretch. Done looks like unsubscribing from the chaos, from the fake urgency, from the idea that burnout is just a scheduling issue. It looks like rest without guilt, boundaries without apology, saying no to expectations that were never humane in the first place. And if you're still stuck in it, still playing by the rules that they've set for you, maybe it's time for you to ask yourself, who benefits from me staying in this cycle? And when you realize it's not you, that's when the real change begins. That's where the exit sign shows up, yeah? So, yeah, I hit the limit. And what came next wasn't some clean reset. It was weirder and honestly kind of unhinged. I started disconnecting like my nervous system was some janky old modem, right? I was logging off, saying no, napping like it was my side hustle. I wasn't interested in optimizing my collapse. I was interested in not collapsing. So I stopped performing. We have normalized living in survival mode like we're contestants on some twisted reality show called America's Next Top Breakdown. And there's no prize at the end. There's just burnout and a system that shrugs its shoulders and then replaces us with the next contestant. Because here's the thing they never tell you. You can care about the world and you can set boundaries with it. You can opt out of chaos without opting out of your values. You can disengage without being in denial. You can scream into the void and log off for a nap. It's balance. It's all about balance. Disconnecting isn't apathy. It's self-preservation. It's admitting that we weren't built to carry global trauma every waking second of the day. We are performing normal while grieving our stability. We are functioning while the foundation crumbles. And the cruelest part is how we are expected to smile through it all, to show up, reply to email, eat salads, and maybe plan Q4 strategy while every institution we used to trust is actively failing. We're not doing okay. We're improvising through a collapse. And the lie that we're resilient? No, we're just out of options. Resilience implies a choice. What we have is emotional duct tape and 2-day shipping on antidepressants. So if you've been feeling like you're quietly falling apart, if you're tired of pretending you're fine in a world that clearly isn't, I want you to hear this. You're having a normal reaction to an absurd situation. That's not dysfunction. That's sanity trying to stage a comeback. So this is your check-in. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to stop pretending that this is fine. And if you need to hear someone say it out loud, I'm not fine either. If you're crying over cereal commercials, forgetting your own zip code, and zoning out mid-sentence like your brain is buffering, you're not broken. You're responding like a normal person to a situation that is anything but. You're allowed to say this is too much, right? You're allowed to not have a plan. You're allowed to not be okay, especially when everyone else is still playing pretend. So, shut the laptop, step outside, starve the beast. Text your weirdest friend. Sit on the porch. Watch a dog sniff grass like it's discovering the universe. All of that is resistance too. Because at some point, you have to stop pretending that you're fine and admit this whole functional adult cosplay isn't working. We've been faking it for so long, we forgot what real even feels like. But if you think this was a reality check, just wait until we talk about the absolute circus that is modern work culture and why finding your passion might be the most damaging scam we ever bought into. You're not going to want to miss this one. Trust me. This next part stings, and it's hilarious.